Have you ever noticed how sometimes your deepest breakthroughs, the ones that feel electric inside your chest, start to lose their strength the very second you try to explain them? At first, it's a fire, something unstoppable. You feel it pulling you forward, pushing you to grow, lighting up every thought you have. But then, the moment you share it with someone, something inside you shifts, the spark begins to dim, the motivation feels thinner, the excitement drains away. What once belonged entirely to your heart suddenly feels exposed, fragile, vulnerable to outside judgment, and that hurts more than you'd think, not because someone said anything harsh, because once it's out in the open, it no longer feels entirely yours. There is a reason for this. When you keep an idea or a dream close to your chest, it becomes sacred. It belongs only to you. You get to nurture it, protect it, and grow it quietly. But the moment you speak it aloud, especially in a world that is always listening, always comparing, always ready to comment, it becomes public. The second it becomes public, it also becomes open to interpretation. People weigh in, they smile to your face while secretly doubting you. They give polite encouragement while quietly comparing themselves to you. Some may even hope deep inside that you fail so they feel safer in their own stagnation. And without realizing it, you begin shifting. You start bending your path according to their opinions, their reactions, their doubts, instead of walking it according to your truth. That's where the real danger lies. The dream itself isn't the problem. The problem is the distraction that comes when you start chasing understanding, applause, or permission. But here's the truth. You don't need permission to expand. You don't need applause to validate your path. What you need is silence. Not the kind of silence that means nothing is happening, but the kind that means everything important is happening quietly beneath the surface. Silence doesn't mean inactivity, it means growth. It means building without interference, evolving without pressure, aligning without performance, and that process never needed an audience. It needs discipline, it needs stillness, it needs space to breathe, away from the noise of outside judgment. This is where your true strength begins, in choosing what to share and what to protect. Not every emotion deserves to be explained. Not every plan deserves to be announced. Not every step deserves to be broadcast. Sometimes the greatest transformations happen where nobody is watching. That's when they become real. That's when they belong completely to you. There is something powerful about letting progress speak in your place. Because when the world sees the outcome but never saw the process, they can't doubt what you did. They can't inject their opinions into your steps. They can't take credit or interfere. They can only see truth. And truth, when it's backed by results, doesn't need defending. So ask yourself, what if you stopped explaining? What if you stopped telling everyone about the next thing you're going to do and instead invested all of that energy into actually doing it? What if instead of being known for your intentions, you became known for your accomplishments? That's the turning point. That's the moment when your focus returns. That's when your peace, your strength, and your fire come back home to you. And if you keep listening to yourself instead of the noise, you'll see that this path will challenge everything you've been conditioned to believe about success and validation. But if you follow it, if you truly embrace silence, discipline, and inner power, you'll unlock a version of yourself that nobody can touch. That version doesn't just dream. That version builds. You don't need to be seen to be successful. That's the greatest illusion, and that visibility equals value. That if people don't know what you're doing, it must not matter. But reality tells a different story. Growth begins in darkness. Roots always form before flowers bloom. Discipline always comes before the breakthrough. The noisiest things in life often hold the least meaning, but the hidden grind, that's where transformation lies. And if you spend all your energy chasing recognition while you're still building, you're trading your process for approval. You're feeding your ego while starving your future. We talk because we crave connection. We want reassurance. We want someone to tell us we're on the right path. We want someone to say, that's incredible. But that craving isn't power. It's insecurity dressed up like confidence. And each time you speak your journey just to be understood, you hand over a slice of your power. You let people who never earned it shape your direction. That is how dreams get diluted. Not because you aren't capable, but because you needed to be seen before you were ready to be unshakable. The strongest people don't move for applause. They move because their vision pulls them forward. They know privacy isn't loneliness. Privacy is control. It's clarity. It's the fertile space where conviction grows strong. When you stop narrating everything in your life, you give yourself the freedom to shift without needing approval, to fail without being watched, to rise without interruption. You stop living for performance and start living for purpose. That changes everything. This isn't isolation, it's elevation. You're not hiding, you're protecting. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Your steps are valid even if no one claps for them. Your discipline matters even when no one notices. Your effort counts even when it goes unseen. Your vision is alive even if no one else understands it yet. You're not invisible, you're focused. You're not stalling, you're growing roots. You're not being secretive, you're being strategic, and when the right moment arrives, the world will see not the things you said you'd do, but the things you already built. Those quiet years will not be wasted. They will be the reason you stand unshakable when the noise finally comes. If you feel exhausted from explaining yourself, stop. If you feel drained from waiting for permission, walk away from that need. Release the obsession with being seen and replace it with the commitment to becoming. The noise can wait. The world can wait. Your future cannot. Your energy is too priceless to waste on temporary validation. Protect it, honor it, channel it into your path. Because once you do, the things you've been trying to prove with words will be proven with results, and results never lie. Every time you announce your plans too soon, you risk weakening them. Not because your goals aren't strong, but because your energy leaks out through your words. Psychology even shows us that speaking about a dream activates the reward system in your brain, making you feel as though you've already achieved it. That fake sense of progress is dangerous. It tricks you into comfort. It's the illusion of achievement without the reality of results. You share your dream, you feel the rush, and then, when the high fades, you're left with nothing but unfinished work and hollow praise. Real achievement does not need narration. It demands action. The more you talk, the more you distract yourself from the sacred grind. And the grind is holy. It's where strength is forged, where identity is carved, where resilience is born. When you hold your journey close, you guard the flame, you shield your vision from being diluted. Not everyone deserves access to your inner fire. Not everyone is meant to carry your dream. Keep your energy intact, speak less, and you'll find your focus sharpening, your discipline strengthening, your clarity returning. You are not here to impress people with ideas. You are here to become unstoppable. This world is addicted to visibility, obsessed with broadcasting every move. But the greatest lives are not built in the spotlight. They are built in discipline, in quiet, in integrity, in work that doesn't need applause. You don't owe anyone an announcement. You owe yourself the results. And when the work is done, when the vision is real, the results will speak louder than any update ever could. And they will speak clearly, without apology, without defense. Let your silence carve space for greatness. Let your privacy be the soil where your strongest self grows. If you care about your future, protect it. Your focus is too valuable, your vision too sacred, your energy too rare to waste on the shallow approval of people who may not even believe in themselves. Hold your fire close. Let it burn quietly until it becomes too powerful to ignore. Speak less. Do more and watch how the world cannot help but notice. Not your words, but your undeniable rise. That's how you win. Quietly, relentlessly, completely. Some people will smile when you succeed, but inside they'll feel threatened. They'll clap, they'll nod, but their encouragement won't be rooted in joy for you. It will be rooted in fear for themselves. Your growth exposes their excuses. Your drive reflects their hesitation. Your progress becomes a mirror, and not everyone can handle what they see. When you tell everyone your plans, you invite that silent resistance into your space. Opposition doesn't always show up as loud criticism. Sometimes it hides behind fake encouragement. Sometimes it arrives as advice designed to slow you down. Sometimes it hides in subtle doubt, in empty support, in delayed responses. Doubt is contagious. Jealousy is quiet but sharp. And the more you share, the more you let that energy infiltrate your process. Without realizing it, you shrink yourself to keep others comfortable. And that's how dreams suffocate, not with one blow, but quietly under the weight of invisible resistance. You don't need that in your future. You need a circle that feeds your fire, not one that secretly fears it. And if you haven't found that yet, protect your vision until you do. Move in silence, not just to surprise the world, but to shield your process. Not everyone is emotionally mature enough to support your path. Not everyone has the capacity to celebrate you without comparison, and that is not your fault. But it is your responsibility to protect what you're building from their influence. The fewer people who know, the freer you are. The less pressure you feel to adjust your path for their comfort. The less temptation you feel to shrink your ambition so it fits into someone else's insecurities. Silence gives you freedom. Silence gives you peace. Silence gives you strength, and most importantly, silence keeps your vision aligned with your truth, not attention, not applause, not validation. Silence. That is where your power is born. That is how you become unshakable. Guard it from interference. You do not need to explain every move you are making. You do not need to broadcast your process. What you need is to build with consistency and quiet without interruption. You must make choices rooted in your intuition, not based on outside opinion. You must adjust your direction according to alignment, not approval. You must create room for your dreams to breathe, to expand without being dissected, judged, or pulled apart by minds that were never designed to carry them. Your vision deserves peace. It deserves the space to unfold without pressure. Not everything requires sharing. Not every breakthrough requires an audience. Let the world wonder. Let them notice something shifting in you without having access to every detail. That's not secrecy. That is strategy. That is protection. That is strength. You are not obliged to bring anyone into your process. You are not responsible for making others comfortable with your ambition. Your life is not a team project. You do not owe anyone a preview. Stay focused. Stay steady. Let your results do the talking when the right moment arrives. Until then, let your silence be your plan. You will always go further when you stop explaining and start doing, when you stop narrating and start building, when you stop asking for permission and start trusting your own ability. The right people won't need words. They will feel your shift. They will respect your privacy. They will honor your boundaries. And the rest, let them wonder. Let them guess. You owe nothing to prove. You have only one mission. Protect what matters and build what is calling you. Allow your life to speak on its own, quietly, powerfully, unapologetically. Your story is still unfolding. And when something is still developing, it doesn't need an audience. It needs safeguarding. Revealing your every move too quickly locks you into an image of yourself that may no longer fit tomorrow. It binds you to labels, expectations, and assumptions you never agreed to wear. People begin to hold you to your words instead of your evolution. They cling to what you said, not to who you are becoming. And without noticing, you begin performing for the past instead of moving with the future. You sacrifice your own growth just to appear consistent with old declarations. That is not alignment. That is self-sabotage disguised. You are free to change your mind. You are free to pivot. You are free to walk away from something you once celebrated with passion. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. That is awareness. That is growth. But if you have already declared every move to the public, the weight of appearing certain will choke your freedom to choose differently. You will feel trapped by your own statements. That is why silence is such a gift. It gives you breathing space to adjust. It grants you permission to evolve without apology. It lets you respond to life, not react to expectations. The moment you stop needing others to understand your process, you give yourself space to honor your truth. You begin to build from your core, not from fear. You move with conviction, not with the heavy weight of timelines or outdated plans. That is what freedom feels like. The freedom to grow without permission, to shift without guilt, to change without offering reasons why. Your life is not a fixed script. It is a living expression of who you are becoming. And that becoming will not always make sense to others. It doesn't need to. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not inconsistent. You are unfolding. You are evolving. You are rewriting your story in real time, and that transformation rarely comes with clarity. It comes with courage, the courage to release old paths, the courage to walk forward into the unknown, the courage to be misunderstood while staying loyal to the truth you carry within. And that courage cannot grow under constant observation. It grows in stillness, it grows in silence, it grows in that sacred private place between who you once were and who you are about to become. Give yourself grace to grow without commentary. Let go of narrating every step. You are allowed to pass through this season unseen. You are allowed to protect your path. You are allowed to reveal yourself only when ready, not for approval, but for alignment. Keep building quietly, keep shifting bravely, keep listening to that voice within that whispers. This chapter is not meant to be shared yet. It is meant to be lived. And when the moment is right, it will shout through your transformation louder than words ever could. Growth requires privacy because transformation is not always polished. It is uncomfortable. It is messy. It is uncertain. You shed pieces of yourself that once felt secure. You release identities that once defined you. You let go of patterns that once gave comfort, even if they were slowly destroying you. This is the part of the path that few speak about because it doesn't appear impressive. It looks like isolation. It looks like saying no. It looks like long pauses. It looks like questioning everything, but this part is the most important. This is where real change takes root. Away from the noise, in the quiet where you finally face yourself. The world praises results but rarely understands the process. That is why revealing too much too early can make you question what is not even fully built yet. You start doubting your choices. You search outside for answers that only your inner voice can supply. And once you let the world step into your process, it begins to shape your path. Not deliberately, not cruelly, but powerfully. You begin to carry their opinions, and even though they were never meant to hold the weight of your vision, suddenly your journey is no longer your own. It becomes a performance, a reaction, a gradual separation from your truth. You owe no one an explanation for your healing, your growth, or your choices. You are free to build a better life quietly. You are free to outgrow people, environments, and plans without justifying your evolution. Not everyone is meant to understand your path, and that is fine. What matters is that you remain honest with yourself, that you walk with intention, that you trust the quiet moments even when they feel heavy, especially when they feel heavy, because those are the moments shaping you. Those are the moments building resilience, clarity, and strength within. You are not invisible just because you are quiet. You are not stagnant just because you are still. You are preparing, you are aligning, you are creating something real, something rooted, something lasting. And when the time arrives, the results will speak. They won't require introductions. They will carry the weight of everything you've endured, everything you've let go, everything you've built in the shadows. And when people finally see the transformation, they won't know the depth of strength it took. But you will. You will know what it cost, and you will carry that power with quiet pride. Let your silence be sanctuary, not emptiness. Let it be the ground where your roots grow deep enough that no storm can move you. You are not late. You are not lost. You are in motion. Stay there. Stay true. Keep rising from within. No announcements, no performance, only power increasing in your stillness. Not everyone deserves entry into your process. Not everyone has earned the right to witness what is shifting within you. Your growth is sacred. Your decisions, your wins, your setbacks, they belong to you first. When you hand them away too soon, you risk draining their power. You risk allowing voices that have never walked your path to redefine the meaning of your progress. And when that happens, you may forget why you began. You lose touch with your own drive. You trade inner certainty for outer validation. Piece by piece, you give away the strength you worked so hard to build. You don't need the world's applause at every step. You don't need people to approve your silence or agree with your choices. You don't need permission to move forward quietly, to outgrow your past, to unlearn habits that once served you but now hold you back. The truth is, some of your strongest seasons will be the ones no one knows about. They won't see the reflection. They won't feel the doubt-filled nights. They won't witness the small, brave steps behind closed doors. But you will. And those quiet victories are worth more than any applause. There is something unshakable about someone who no longer needs to explain. Someone who trusts their vision enough to guard it. Someone who understands that growth is not a performance. It is a private vow between who you were and who you are becoming. That type of person doesn't chase attention. They don't need noise. Their presence speaks before they do. Their peace is louder than the urge to be seen. Their focus is stronger than the desire to be understood. If you are in a season of silent work, of unseen change, respect it. Do not rush to make it a story. Do not force it to become content. Let it breathe. Let it form you. Let it teach you. You do not have to prove your progress to anyone. Your peace is the proof. Your alignment is the proof. The way you rest at night knowing you are finally choosing yourself is all the evidence required. You owe the world no performance. You owe yourself the truth. Stay loyal to it. Guard it. Trust it. You are allowed to grow privately. You are allowed to move silently. You are allowed to succeed without announcing each step. The ones meant to celebrate with you will recognize the transformation when the moment comes. And the ones who don't, they were never meant to understand. Your path is not a community project. It is your personal evolution. Walk it with clarity. Walk it with courage. Walk it without the burden of needing to be seen. And when your time comes, let your life, not your words, show the distance you have traveled. Silence is not weakness. It is strength mastered. It is the ability to stand steady while the world demands your attention. It is the choice to keep your energy sacred when everything outside demands reaction, explanation, exposure. There is power in not reacting. There is control in not explaining. There is confidence in letting your results speak when the noise has faded. Many people want visibility so badly they rush their own becoming. They share dreams while they are still fragile. They step forward before the ground is ready. And in doing so, They invite doubts, opinions, and fears that were never theirs to carry. Your path is not meant for open analysis. Your choices do not require approval. When you look for constant feedback, you scatter your focus. You give your vision away to people who were never meant to carry it. That is the birth of hesitation, the seed of doubt. The moment you start questioning whether you are too much or not enough is the moment you handed someone else the pen to write your story. Take it back. You are not here to perform. You are here to become, and becoming requires protection from noise, protection from distraction, protection from the urge to validate every step. Release the need to post every win, to explain every shift, to showcase every insight. Let the depth of your transformation be for you first. Let it root. Let it expand. Let it grow in silence. When a tree stretches upward, it doesn't announce. It doesn't require applause to rise. Its growth is steady, silent, powerful. You are the same. You don't need noise to prove progress. You don't need convincing to show you are changing. Your peace will reveal it. Your energy will prove it. Your life will reflect it. You are building something greater than captions or highlights can contain. And that means you will be misunderstood. That means people will question your silence. That means you will feel tempted to explain, to defend, to make them see. But remember this, not being understood does not equal being wrong. Let them talk. Let them guess. Let them wonder. Your job is not to be seen clearly. Your job is to see yourself clearly. The rest will align in time. Stay close to your path. Stay rooted in your truth. Keep your vision guarded until it is strong enough to stand. Not everything needs to be revealed. Not everything needs to be displayed. Sometimes the most powerful act is to rise without a sound. Let them sense your growth when the right moment comes. Until then, protect it like your future depends on it, because it does. When your energy becomes refined, focused, and untouchable, you stop needing outside validation. You stop craving applause. You stop performing for those who were never meant to see your depth. Silence becomes your method. Discipline becomes your weapon. Self-respect becomes your fuel. You realize not every action requires sharing. Not every thought requires expression. Not every win requires a spotlight. Some of your greatest progress will remain unseen. And that is exactly how it should be. Your evolution is not a stage act. It is a personal revolution. It is the battle between who you were and who you are destined to become. It takes place in the unseen moments, in the quiet decisions, in the promises you honor to yourself. Growth rarely feels glamorous. Sometimes it looks like distance. Sometimes it feels like silence. Sometimes it is walking away without defending your choice. Sometimes it is choosing peace over proving a point. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. That is clarity on what deserves your energy and what does not. You do not need to prove your worth. Your worth is not measured by applause. It is not measured by noise. It is built in consistency, in integrity, in quietly showing up for yourself. There is nothing louder than a life that doesn't need to announce itself. And yours will be undeniable when you stop wasting words explaining and start living deliberately, fully, unapologetically. You were never born to convince the world of your worth. You were born to embody it, and when you do, the right people will see, the wrong ones will fade. That is not a loss. That is alignment. Each time you choose silence over seeking approval, you reclaim your power. You place focus back on what truly matters, the work, the healing, the movement. Clarity is not born from talking about your path. It is born from walking it, step by step, without comparison, without distraction, without needing to be seen. Protecting your peace is power. Honoring your growth in silence is discipline. Refusing to dilute your journey for others' comfort is self-respect. You are not failing because the world cannot see your progress. You are planting. You are rooting. You are creating something real without validation. Let your stillness be purposeful. Let your silence be holy. Let your focus be unshakable. Your future calls you to rise, not to explain. Do not waste words convincing people who were never meant to hold your vision. Keep building, keep becoming, keep moving. Let your life tell the story louder than anything you could say. Each time you pick silence over seeking permission, you get stronger. You lift the weight of needing validation. The truth is, you don't need to be seen to have value. You don't need to be understood to succeed. Growth is not always noisy. Sometimes it is choosing not to answer, not to explain, not to justify. That quiet discipline is not weakness. It is your strength taking form. That is when your confidence grounds itself, not in reactions, but in your unshakable commitment to who you are becoming. When you stop sharing every plan, you give them room to breathe, to mature, to grow. Ideas grow stronger in the dark. Like roots under the earth, they don't need exposure, they need protection. Your energy is sacred. Your vision is sacred. Sharing too soon or too much with the wrong audience drains the strength before it is fully formed. Not everyone can see what you see. Not everyone is meant to. When you start honoring your path deeply, you stop giving it away in pieces. You stop leaking your strength through words. You keep it close. You keep it secure. You are not here to please everyone. You are here to be real with yourself. And that means shutting out the noise and tuning into the signal. The deeper you dive into your truth, the less urge you feel to broadcast it. That is freedom, when your peace outweighs the need to be noticed, when your discipline outweighs the desire to be praised, when your alignment outweighs the urge to be liked. You become unstoppable. You no longer move in desperation. You move with certainty. You move with clarity. You move with quiet power. The strongest people don't announce. They arrive, they act, they let the work speak. They do not argue, they do not over-explain, they do not dilute their focus. They understand that every minute spent defending your path is time stolen from walking it. So they guard their energy like treasure, because it is, and so is yours. Stop handing your peace to those who cannot grasp your vision. Stop wasting breath explaining what was never theirs to understand. Stay centered, stay committed. Let your silence be strength, not weakness. Let it be the container where your power builds until it cannot be ignored. The moment you stop telling the world what you are about to do is the moment you start executing with intention, with direction, with force. Let your life speak so clearly you never have to. Let them observe, let them wonder, but never let them distract you. Your silence is not emptiness, it is preparation. And your next level is already waiting. Keep stepping forward. Discipline is not punishment, it is self-respect. It is choosing order over chaos, growth over comfort, long-term over short-term. The undisciplined mind craves everything instantly. It chases ease, it chases attention, it runs from effort and avoids struggle. But the disciplined mind chooses endurance. It embraces the discomfort of growth because it understands a deeper truth. You cannot rise while staying soft. You cannot lead yourself into greatness if you keep surrendering to weakness. You must be stronger than your excuses, stronger than your moods, stronger than the thoughts tempting you back into mediocrity. Every decision you make is a vote for the future self you want to become, and each time you keep a promise to yourself, even when it's difficult, you reinforce the identity of someone who follows through. This is not just about habits. This is about building trust with yourself. When you say, I will, and then you do, you rewire your mind, you stop doubting, you stop second guessing, you start moving from power instead of hesitation, and that consistency compounds. It becomes the edge separating you from those who only move when it is easy. You will not always